Let me just share my screen. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right, so before we start, I just would like to ask you guys if you have a question so far, questions or clarifications regarding with your laboratories, the lab number 7 and 8. How are you guys doing? So may I know who still wasn't able to download and install the Visual Studio? Anyone? So all of you here are already
Me,
able to
sir.
download? Yes, Mr. Borja, were you able to download it and install?
Sir, hindi po po.
Oh, so you have to download it now as early as possible because we now only have 3 weeks, okay, more or less 3 weeks left, and you have a lot of things to do. Okay, lab number 7, and then 3 quizzes. I mean, yeah, I think it's 3 quizzes or 2 quizzes. Yeah, 2 quizzes, I guess. And then for the module 8, we have another 3 quizzes, wherein you won't be able to do those activities without the Visual Studio. So uh, everything, okay, all of the activities that we are going to do on the finals is coming from your Visual Studio. Okay, so you should have a Visual Studio. So you can have a
Yes, sir.
Visual Studio 2015, 2019, 2013, 2012. Okay, so it's okay. Okay, if it's at 2012, but 2007 or 2005, the interface is already quite different. Okay, though you can still figure it out since most of them uh, still the same, but some of the interface are already different. Okay. Well, anyway, so
Sir, free software din po. Free software po yan, sir.
yes, yes, it's free software. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Okay, so let us start now with the module 8. So as you guys can see right here, maybe one thing that you will notice is this one is a Visual Basic 2005. Yes, this tutorial itself, the concept itself of this one is based from the 2005 Visual Basic. But before until today, the basics, the foundation, the syntaxes, how you do things is still the same. Okay, so even though this one is already 16 years old, okay, concept, we're still using the same concept. Okay, so we didn't change anything on how to program things. Okay, it's just that the interface changed a little. Okay, so in this module 8, we'll talk about Visual Basic branching, and then message boxes, and then input box. Okay, so without a further ado, let's start. So let's start with branching. So what is branching? So branching statements are used to cause certain actions within a program if a certain condition is met. Okay, so to make it simple, if this statement is true, this condition is true, let's say a condition statement is true, then you can execute a certain statement or a certain function. Okay, well, that is only if it's true. But if it's false, then nothing will happen. As simple as that. Okay. So let me give you guys a simple, a diagram or a syntax. So we have here the condition. So let's say the condition is if your age is 18 and below, you will not be able to enter the club since that's illegal, right? If you're still 18 and below, 18 below, okay. But if you're already 18 and above, then you can now enter to the club. Okay, so in here, if you are still under 18, then if it's yes, then this will be executed. You won't be able to enter to the club. But if you are 18 and above, so in here we don't have a statement. Okay, so nothing will happen. Okay, so nevertheless, you won't be able to enter to the club anyway. Okay, but of course you can put here the other way around, wherein you will be able to enter to the club. Okay, so as you guys can see, if this condition is true, this statement will be executed. So if you have another statement right here, so if this condition is false, or let's say no, okay, then this statement will be executed. Okay, as simple as that. So we only have two possible results. But in here, in the syntax right here, if this condition is true, then this statement will be executed. But if this statement is false, then nothing will happen, since that is the only thing that we have in this syntax. So to give you guys more idea, we have an example right here. So if balance is less than 0, then this code right here will be executed. So you don't need to analyze what is the result. You don't need to analyze what is the syntax for now. Just know the concept, okay? Just learn the concept. So in here, if this is true, this will be executed. If this is false, then nothing will happen. Okay, so another example, if this is true, this will be executed. And then if this is false, then nothing will happen. Okay, and if this is true, this will be executed. And if this is false, then nothing will happen. As simple as that. Okay, so later on, we're going to have a real example for you guys to appreciate what I'm talking about. So let's have a sample problem number one. So in here, it is asking us to write a VB program that allows... record ko ba? Ah, yeah, okay. So, buti naman. I thought I forgot to click the record button. Anyway, so in here, it's asking us to write a VB program that allows the user to input an integer. If the value is greater than or equal to 0, display the message positive using a message box. Okay, so let me just open my Visual Studio. So in my case, I'm using 2019. So I'm not sure if there is already a 2020 version or 2021. So let's create a new project. And of course, I'll choose Windows Forms app.NET Framework. Okay, and then click next. And then I'll name this one as sample problem number one. Okay, and then click create. So in here, you can choose any version of that framework that will work, but I do recommend you guys to use 4.6 and above. Okay, so less than that, it may cause some inconsistencies. So better use the updated version. So if not 4.8, you can use 4.7.2, 4.6.1, etc. etc. As long as it's 4.6 and above. Okay. So after that, just click create and then wait 5 to 10 seconds. So if you guys have a question, so just ask me anytime, okay? So you don't need to raise your hand anymore. Just speak right away. You just type it on the chat box. Okay, so of course it will give us a blank uh, form. Okay, there's one right here. So what we need is a text box, a label, and then a button. Okay, so text box, I'll just type here text, and then I can now find text box right here. Oops. And then a label, and then a button. So I can, oops, it's now a little bit lagging. So I can group those three and then find the font, and then I can now change the font size. So I'll just change it to 30 so that you guys can see it you know, clearly. So we have here the text box, the label, and then the button. So in here, the name of our button is test, and then input number for the label. So input number. So just look for the text. Okay, so after clicking the label, okay, and then under the properties right here of the label one, okay, just find the text and then change the default name of that one into your preferred name. Okay, so the same with button one. So after clicking this button one, go to the properties and then find the text right here, and then I'll change this button one into this. Okay, and then hit enter to change this one. So there you go. I now have my first example number one interface. Now, the only thing that it lacks is the code itself. So for you to be able to program this one, so the one that we need to program is the button. Okay, why? Because the code will only be executed once you click the button. Okay, so you must not program a label, you must not program a text box, but in some cases, yes, it's possible. There are some cases that we need to program a text box, but a label, no. Okay, because this is not clickable. You won't be able to execute that code unless it's in a form of onload or on start upload. Okay, so in here, this is the one that we're going to program. Okay, so that it will be only executed once we click this button. Okay, and then after that it will lead us to this coding section. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we have to declare a variable. So any variable will do. So dim x, dim y, dim z, dim a, dim b. So even a word is possible. So let's say dim variable one. Okay, so any name will do. Okay, but there are just some variables that you cannot use. For example, you cannot use a variable private. So you won't be able to use that one. So as you guys can see, it deleted the dim and then it jumps to private, and then or something like this. It will give you a squiggly red line, meaning private is not a valid on a local variable declaration. Why? Because it is already used as a default keywords. Okay, on our function of the button right here. So you cannot use a private. You cannot use sub. What else? Maybe glass. I think it's also not also possible. Yeah, yeah. Keyword is not valid as an yeah. This is not also possible. So there are some variables that we cannot use. Okay, so just be careful on that one. Well, anyway, it will give you an error. Okay, so let you know that you won't or you cannot use that specific variable. So in here, I'll just use a single word, I mean a single text variable. So let's say dim x, okay, and then as integer, okay. So why integer? That's because in here it is asking us that it says here write a V program that allows the user to input an integer. Okay, so we have many kinds of declarations. So I hope you guys have already watched the module 7, okay, the tutorial module 7. So I taught there the different types of a variable. So we can have a string, we can have a double, we can have a single, okay, so we can have boolean, okay, we have a lot. But when it comes to numbers, of course, it's either integer only or let's see double if you want it to accept a decimal. Okay, but since the requirement in example number 1 is integer, so I'll use here integer. Okay, so after that, I will now pass whatever is the result of this text box 1, okay, onto my variable x. Okay, so x is equal to text box 1 text. So by default, if you only have one text box, so the default name of that one is text box 1. Okay, and then don't forget the that text, the properties of that one, an indicator that it is a text box. So if I have another text box, so I just copy and paste this one. So one thing that you guys will notice is the name of this one now is text box 2. So it's logical. Okay, so of course it's incrementing. So the unique name of this one is text box 1, unique name of this one is text box 2. If you have another one, of course it's now 3. Okay, if another one, it's now 4. Simple as that. Okay, so whatever is the name of your text box, so let's say I'll retain here the text box 2. So that is the one that you should put in here. So text box 2 text. So that doesn't mean that if you only have one text box, that's already text box 1. Okay, so that still depends on whatever is the name of that text box. Okay, because there are some cases wherein we put so many text boxes but we only need 2. Okay, so with that we are now assuming that it's text box 1 and 2, but it is not. Okay, so we have to double check what is the real name of that text box, or that specific component. Okay, so in here we have text box what is it? Yeah, text box 2, text box 3, and then text box 4. Okay, of course, I'll only use one, so I just put here text box to the text. Okay. So next thing, So the condition right here is if the value is greater than or equal to 0, display the message positive using a message box. Okay, so it's super simple. So if, and then the condition, so our input will now be coming from text box 2, and then it's being passed to our variable x. So if x is less than, ano ba? Dapat positive lang. Okay, oops, wait a second. It is now lagging. So we can put here if x is equal or greater than 0, okay, or greater than x, then message box, close and open parenthesis, oops, dapat nasa after lang din to. Then message box, close and open parenthesis, oops, nakalimutan ko yung 0. And then we'll put here positive. Why do we have an error? Then message box, msg box. My bad. Then okay, error. Then message box is equal to positive. What is wrong? If x is greater than or equal to 0, then message box. So you can actually use two types of message box. So we have the complete name, and then we have the shortcut name, which is MSG and then box. So they are just the same. But for some cases, I don't know, this one is not working. This message box right here. Okay, so let's just use the shortcut version of message box. Okay. Anyway, so let's try this one. So after putting the code, then you can now click start. And then wait maybe 5 seconds. Okay, since it's the first initialization. So we can now test here the number. Let's say 1, and then click test. So of course it's positive. Okay, and then if it's a 0, then of course it is also positive since the one that we put here is greater than or equal to a 0. Okay, so if it's -1, of course it will do nothing. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about a while ago. So if this is true, this will be executed. However, if this is false, then nothing will happen since we didn't put anything in here. Okay, but of course you can make another condition so that we can copy that one and then change this one into less than, okay, less than 0. Then instead of positive, just change this one into negative. And then Control S. Oops, my bad. So you have to stop that one first before you can add this one. So if it's 1, of course it's positive. Okay, but if it's negative, okay, then of course it will now give us a result of negative since we have here another set of condition and then statement. Okay, so are we clear so far? Are you guys able to follow? Okay, so one thing that I would highly recommend or advise to you guys is just try to copy and paste for now. Okay, since mostly this is your first time doing some programming, so you can copy everything. Okay, whatever I'm doing right here, copy and then paste it with your own Visual Studio and then make it work. Okay, and then that's the time that you can explore once it is completely working. So you can start maybe changing the text from negative to anything that you want. Okay, you can change the condition into let's say instead of less than 0, it could be less than 5, okay, less than 10, and so on and so forth. So start with the basic first. Okay. All right, so that's it for example problem number 1. So let's now move on to sample problem number 2. So it says here, write a program that inputs two integer numbers. Thereafter, the program should determine if these two integer numbers are equivalent. So if they are equivalent, use a message box to display the word equivalent. So in here, we need two labels and then two outputs. Two labels and then two text box. So input number, and then I'll just change this one into input another number. So what I did a while ago is I just highlighted this one and then Control C and then Control B. So you can do that one, okay, for faster making of uh, or putting of components that you'll be needing. So text box 2 and then text box 1. So to avoid confusion, let me just swap those two. Okay, so text box 1 first and then followed by text box 2. And then instead of test, maybe I can change this one into verify they are equivalent. Change this one into a bigger button. So of course you can change this one. You can change the back color also. Back color into let's say yellow. Okay, and then these two into let's say light blue. Okay, so yeah, and then this one into so instead of back color, just go with four color, and then let's say into red. So there you go. You now have a colorful interface. Okay, just the basics. So after that, you can now start programming the code. So let's start, from the scratch. So let's say this, you don't have any code for now. So just double click this one, and then it will lead you to this button one click again. So in here, we need two variables now. So dim x. So you can do this one comma and then y as integer. Okay, so meaning we are declaring those two at the same time as integer. Okay, so the first one will be pass x is equal to text box 1 dot text. So we are passing the value of text box 1 into our variable x. So the same with the other one, y is equal to text box 2 dot text. Okay, so what we're doing here again is we are passing this one into variable x and then this one into variable y. And then we will use those variables to compare with each other. Okay, so if x is equal to y, then message box, then it should be equivalent if they are equal. Okay, but if they are not equal, then you can just copy this one again and then paste another, with another condition. Let's say not equal. So the not equal in here is greater than or less than or greater than. Okay, so it's something like this. So this is the symbol for not equal. Okay, then message box not equivalent. Okay, then you can now start if it's working or no. So input a number, so let's say 1 and then 1. So we're expecting a result of equivalent. So yes, they are equivalent, but what about if it's 1 and then negative 1? Okay, then of course it will show as in a result of not equivalent. Okay, so this one now did go to the second condition. Okay, so in here we declare this one as a integer. Okay, but what if I did put here 1.1, okay, and then in here let's say 1.2. Okay, let's say 1.1 and then 1.2. So one thing that you guys will notice is they are still equal. Why? Because when we say integer, it's only reading the whole number. It neglect, okay, or it rejects the decimal point. Okay, so the point 1 and then the point 2 here is not being read. Okay, so they are being neglected or ignored. Okay, so I hope we are clear with that one. So 1.1 and 2.2 is of course not equal. So are we clear with example number 2 so far? Hello guys. Hello. Are you guys still around?
Yes, sir.
So how was it? How was it for our first two examples? Well, I'm assuming that this is your first two examples. If you haven't watched the video for the module 7 yet, so I hope you guys have already experienced a lot of examples, basic examples. So this is also basic, but with the use of the conditional statements. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the example number 2. So again, just try to recreate this one using your own Visual Studio. So the next one is sample problem number 3 and then sample problem number 4. So for the sample problem number 3, so I gave this one as your third quiz. Okay, so if you guys are going to check your module, so in here, the third quiz is the sample problem number 3, and then the fourth quiz is the sample problem number 4. For the fifth quiz, so we're still quite far away with this one. So this one is under the case statement. Okay, so just ignore this one for now. So you can start doing the sample problem number 3 and then sample problem number 4. Okay, so I have an additional output in here. So I did mention here that we have one input but we have two outputs. Okay, so let's go back with your sample problem number 3. So it says here the ABC Manufacturing Company plans to give a year-end bonus to each of its employees, and then write a program that will compute the bonus of an employee by considering the following criteria. So we have here the first criteria. If the employee's monthly salary is less than 10,000, the bonus is 25% of the salary. Okay, so that is already your first output. So you have to compute the 25% of this 10,000 right here. Okay, so which is of course 2,500. However, we have another condition right here. So for employees with salaries greater than or equal to 10,000, then the bonus is a fixed 2,500. Okay, so this is still the first output. Okay, so if it's less than 10,000, then you have to compute the 25% of that one. So if it's 5,000, then the 25% of that one is 1,250. Okay, but if it's 10,000 and above, then it is a fixed bonus, which is 2,500. So even though you have a salary of 100,000, 1,000,000, you will still get a bonus of 2,500. Okay, because that is the requirement for this sample problem number 3. So determine and display the bonus of an employee. So in here, it's only asking the bonus, but in my case, I need you guys to solve for the total computed salary. So for example, if you have a salary of 10,000, so of course your bonus is 2,500. So I would like you guys to display the total computed salary. Okay. So when I see total computed salary, it is the bonus plus your current salary. So 10,000 plus 2,500 is equal to 12,500. Okay, so if you have 100,000 salary, so 100,000 plus 2,500 is equal to 102,500. Okay, so that is the second output. So that is the reason why I did put here, I need two outputs. Okay, let me just edit this one. Uh, Determine and display the bonus and the total computed salary. salary plus the bonus. Okay, so yeah, so that this one now is much more clearer. Okay, so are we clear with your third quiz?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay, so for the next one, what happened? It is lagging. Okay, so for the next one, we have here the time check is 4 minutes. So sample problem number 4. So this one is super easy, a lot easier than the third quiz. So write a program that will allow user to input an integer and then determine and display if the integer entered is an even number. So all you need to do is, put there a label and then one text box, okay, and then one button, and then just verify if it's an even number. So if it's an odd number, then display nothing. But if it's even, then you have to display that the number that you have inputted is an even number. Okay, so yeah, as simple as that. Okay, no twist when it comes to sample problem number 4. And then for the sample problem number 5, so I didn't gave this one as your quiz or activity since this is one is an example only. Okay, so in here, in temperature countries like Japan, so there are 4 seasons. So they have from April to June, they have spring, July to September is summer, October to December is autumn, and January to March is winter. So we wish to write a program that allows the user to select a date using datetime picker, and then the output of the program is the season associated with that month and a picture of the season. Okay, so we have here the numbers. Okay, 4 to 6 is June, which is spring. 7 to 9 is September, which is summer. 10 to 12 is December, which is autumn. And then 1 to 3 is March, which is a winter, or January to March, rather. Okay, so all you need to do is find a picture. Okay, so in my case, I use a different picture. So you can use this one for the spring, you can use this one for summer, for autumn, and then for winter. So here's the sample code for this one, and then here's the sample interface for this one. So to make this one quick, let me just find if I have uh, open project. If I have this one, thanks for the basic branching, exercise sample problem number 5. Yeah, number 5. Okay, so I already have here the sample interface. We have a label, which is his name date. And then we have here a date time picker wherein I didn't change anything on this one. So by default, it's already the current date right now. So it's July 12, 2021, which is Saturday. And then we have here a picture box. So if I change the, let's say the date time picker right here, or the calendar, so it will change the respective picture of that one. So if it's July, what is July? Is it July is summer? Okay, July to September is summer. Okay, so it should display here a picture of summer. Okay, so here's the code for this one. Okay, so in here I only declared one variable. Okay, and then the one that we program is the date time picker, so that it will only be triggered if we change the date, okay, or the month of this one. So just double click and then it will lead you to this date time picker value change. So in here I declared one variable, and then what we are getting in here is the value of the month, okay, of this date time picker. So daytime picker that value at month, and then it's being passed to this m right here. So if this m is less than or equal to 4, or less than, okay, or equal to 6, then it will change the picture into this picture right here. Okay, So this one is the location of that picture. Okay, so I don't know if I still have that on my computer. So I think I don't have that one anymore. But anyway, so the correct location is local DC, folder users, and then folder Ryzen 5, and then folder pictures, another pictures. Okay, and then the name of that picture itself. Okay, and then the extension, which is JPG. So if this is true, then it will change the picture into whatever is this picture right here. Okay, so the same with the other conditions, just a different month. Okay, so I guess we don't have enough time anymore. So we'll just continue this one. So I did announce, I think 2 weeks ago, upon installing the Visual Studio. So that is the reason why we have the how to install right here. Okay, so just click this readme, and then you only have to install one workload. Okay, so where is that one? Here, during the workload installation, install only .NET Desktop Development, and then ignore the others. Okay, so I think Microsoft Azure will show up in there. What else? Some SQL or databases, I guess. Python, even Python. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you po.
okay. All right. So uh, let me just check if you guys are already ready. So just give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay. All right. So wait a second, guys. All right. So sorry for that one. So can you guys still see my screen? Hello. Hello. Are you guys around? Hello. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So here's now the sample problem number 5. So what we can do right here is click this drop down button right here, so we can change the month. Okay, so as you guys can see, July, okay, to September is summer. Okay, so this is the picture that I have for this summer right here. For the October, we have here this picture, which is autumn, yeah, I guess, to December, and then January to March is of course winter. Okay, and then April to July, yes, yeah, April to June, okay, is what is this? Spring, okay. So that is for the 4 seasons, okay. So there you go. So you have a wonderful changing backgrounds or yeah, picture depending on the selected month. Okay. So let me just show to you guys how I did put this picture right here. So let me change this one. So this is spring, right? So let me delete this one, and then let's download a new spring picture. So let's say this picture right here. Okay, right click, save image as, and then I'll save it under my desktop. So for now, let me just make this as a comment. Oops. So that I have my own copy. Just a backup. Okay, and then I'll name this one spring. So I'll save it on my desktop, Okay, and then save. So the next thing that we can do here is find the location of this one. So show in oven folder. So this is now the spring picture. So if I open this one, you guys will see. So let me just drag. Nandito kasi sa kabila eh. So, yeah, there you go. So this is the picture spring. Okay. So the one thing that we can do is go to properties, right click and then go to properties, and then copy this location right here. Okay. So see slash users slash Horizon 5 slash desktop. So copy that one. Okay. And then paste it right here. Okay. So after the location, you can now add another slash, and then you can now put the name of that picture. So the name of that picture is Spring, so just copy and then paste. And then followed by the extension, which is JPG. Okay, copy and then paste. So that JPG. Okay, so as simple as that. And then Control S to save. And then let's try this one again. So the spring, the picture of spring should be that updated picture now. There you go. So we now have this picture of your spring right here. Okay, so the same with the other pictures right here, so just a different location. Okay, so I hope we're clear with this one. And one thing that you guys will notice, okay, so the example given in here, okay, the code in here, so we have pb1, but in my case I have picture box 1 because that is the name of my picture box 1 right here. Okay, so just click this one and then just take a look on the name of that picture box one. So for you to be able to change this picture box one into PB1, just find the name, okay, and then from picture box one, change that one to PB1. Okay, so just click. Oops, we have to stop this one first before we can change the name of this picture box one into PB1. And then of course, this will be changed into PB1 also. Okay. So yeah, it will go accordingly with our code right here. So you don't need to update this one at the same time. Okay, so the same with the daytime picker. So the default name of my daytime picker is of course daytime picker 1. If you want to change that one, you can change this one into DTP1. Okay, so the name of this one now is DTP1, and then your daytime picker right here is now of course DTP1. Okay, so are we clear with this one? Hello, hello. Are you guys able to follow so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just let me know if you guys are, you need more example or you need more explanations regarding with this one, with this example, with that topic, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that I can enlighten you. Okay, with how things work in programming. Okay, line by line. Well, anyway, so yeah, that's it for the sample problem number 5. Let's now move on to the next kind of statement, which is a compound statement. So before we only have one single condition and then one statement. So in here you can actually have multiple statements. So we still have one condition, but however you can execute as many statements as you want. Okay, so you can have 5 statements, 10 statements, 15. Okay, so as long as that's really a required statement on your program. So here's an example. So we have one condition only. If balance minus check is less than 0, then this statement will be executed, and then this statement will also be executed, and then this statement will be also executed. So we have a total of 3 statements under one condition. Okay, so that is also possible. However, in here, in compound statements, we just have an additional, which is the and if. So if you have multiple conditions, so the condition now must be under this then right here. So it's not beside the then anymore. So it should be on this line, another line, and then followed by the and if. Okay. So for you guys to appreciate this one, let's have again another example for that one. But before that, we have another one right here. So what if you need two condition in one if else statement? Okay, so we can have as many condition as we want. So like what we did in sample problem number 1 and 2, but in here we can have as many condition as we want also. Okay, but in under one syntax only, or in one group only. Okay, so here's the correct syntax for that one. So if, and then followed by the condition, and then your statements right here for the this condition. So if this is not true, then it will proceed to this condition right here. So in other words, if it doesn't able to find that this one is true, it will go on the else statement. Okay, so we only have two possible results. If the true condition is true, then if this condition is true, then this will be executed. But if it's false, then this code or false codes right here will be executed. Okay, so another example. Okay, so if this condition is true, then this will be executed. However, if this is false, then this will be executed. Okay, so unlike before, if this is false, nothing will happen. But in here, something now will happen depending on your statement right here. Okay, so if it's true, this three statement will be executed. But if this is false, then this statement right here will be executed. Okay. Anyway, let's have an example. Okay, so this sample problem number 6. So write a program that allows the user input for the username and password. Display successful login if the username is S21A and password is computer. Otherwise, display the message alert intruder. So again, let me just find this sample problem just to make our discussion real quick. So sample problem number 6. Okay, save. All right. So let's go to the interface area first. So in here, this is just a picture box 1, which contains a picture. So how did I put the picture right here? So upon clicking this picture box 1, you guys will see this play button on the upper right. So just click that one, and then you can click this choose image, and then let's say from local resource, you can import any picture that you want. So let's say this picture right here. Okay, and then click OK, and then this picture now is changed into something like this. Okay, but of course I will not use that one. Okay, since the picture that we need in here is the one that we have on this sample problem number 6. Okay, but that's how you put a picture. And then one thing that you guys will notice upon having or putting that picture, so it's in a normal mode. Okay, so to fit the picture, so you have to change the size mode into stretch image. Okay, for that to be able to fit whatever is the size of your picture box 1. Okay, so we have 3 labels right here: user authentication, username, password, and then we have 2 text boxes. So one for the username and then one for the password. And then we have here the button, which is the one that we have programmed. Okay, so in here I declared 2 variables, so the user and then pass as a string. So of course we now need a string since we are not doing any computation, so we just need the every character of that one, so we're going to use a string. Okay, so one thing that you guys will also notice right here is we have this function uCase. Okay, so still have the same concept. Whatever is the value of your text box 1 will be passed on the variable user. Whatever is the value of your text box 2 will pass on the pass. Okay, so in here we're just formatting, okay, the characters or the value of the text box 1 into uppercase. So even though I put here a lower cases, so it will be converted into upper case. Okay, so later on I'll show to you guys how is this uCase being used or being utilized on this example right here. So we have this condition. So if user is equal to user and then pass is equal to my password, okay, but in here it's S218 anyway. So let me just change this one and to S218, and then password is computer. Okay, just follow computer. Okay, just follow this one for now. Okay, so if this is true, okay, we have the same result, which is S218 for the user and then computer for the pass, then it will display successfully login. But if one of this is not true, let's say this one is false or this one is false, then this will be displayed alert intruder. So in other words, this one must be true. This user and password must be true at the same time for us to be able to have this successfully login. So let me just show this one to you guys. So username, okay. So we have here S218, and then okay, let me just remove that one for now so that you guys can see the password, because there's already a mask, okay, or a layer, okay, for the password. Of course, we cannot see the password. So for the username, it's S218, and then for the password, it's computer. Okay. So of course, we did put the correct username and then password, so we expect to have a successful login. So successfully login. So if there is one of those which is false, so let's say S218, okay, then it will give us the other uh, result, which is alert intruder. Okay, so the same with the password. Computers. Oops. Computers. Masyado maliit. Okay, let me just make this one bigger. It's 218, and then this one is computers. So of course, it will give us a result of alert intruder. Okay, so those two must be exactly the same for us to be able to have the first result, okay, or the first statement. Okay, so what if I change this one into small letters? So of course, it will still give us a successfully login. That's because whatever is our input right here is being converted into upper cases. Okay, so that is the purpose of this U case right here. So it's not case sensitive anymore. Okay, but of course, if I did remove those U case, then we now have a case sensitive username and password. Okay, so let me just show this one to you guys again. So for the username, we have S218, and for the password, we have computer. So successfully log in. But if this one is a small letter, okay, S218, so of course it will give us now a result of alert intruder. So it is now a case sensitive text. Okay, so yeah, that's the purpose of U case in there. Okay, so are we clear so far regarding with the sample problem number 6? Hello, hello. Are you guys still around?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I hope you guys were able to follow. But anyway, so upon watching this video again, so you will maybe able to understand it more. Okay, just try to watch and watch and watch and watch. Okay, and then try to redo, and then try to modify, and then try to understand what is this line for, what is this line for? Can I do this? Can I do that? Etc. Etc. Okay, just explore. You know, experience is the best teacher. Okay. All right, so that's it for the sample problem number 6. So here's the solution. So you can copy that one and then make it work, okay, on your own. And then we have exercises right here wherein we will not do this one using the Visual Studio Code. This is just a basic concept. Okay, so write an appropriate if statement for each of the following conditions. So if an angle is equal to 90 degrees, show the message the angle is a right angle. Else, show the message the angle is not right angle. So in here, of course, we have a variable angle. So if angle is equal to 90, then this will be displayed. However, if this is not true, then this will be displayed instead. So message box, the angle is not a right angle. Okay. So I hope you guys were able to get the exercise number 1. Anyway, for the exercise number 2, so the same thing, just a different condition. So if the temp is above 100 degrees, display the message above the boiling point of water. Else display the message below the boiling point of water. So if this is true, then this will be displayed. If this is false, then this will be displayed. Okay. So for the exercise number 3, if the num is positive, then add the number to post sum. Else, add the number to next sum. So let me just show to you guys the result of this one. Number exercise number 3. Okay, so here's the thing. If I put a value here, let's see, if it's positive, then it will be displayed in here. Then at the same time, if I click add once more, whatever is the value of this post sum, and then whatever is the value of the this value right here, the input value, okay, it will be added onto the post sum. So meaning, okay, wait a second. So if I click 5, so it is positive, so it will go to the post sum. Okay, and then if I click add once more, okay, so the current value of post sum will be added with the new value of this text box right here. So 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So it's like incrementing by 5, okay, after clicking that add. Okay, if I change this 1 into 2, so it's now incrementing by 2. So 110 plus 2 is 112, and so on and so forth. Okay, 100. So 4 is 144, 148, and so on and so forth. So the same thing with the negative number. So if it's negative 4, then it will be added on the next sum. Okay, so if I click add once more, so negative 4 plus negative 4 is negative 8. Okay, and then it's now decrementing by negative 4. So I can also change the value of this 1 into 3. Okay, and then it's now decrementing by negative 3. Okay, so that's basically it for the exercise number 3. So if the num is positive, then add the number to post sum. Else, add the number to next sum. Okay, and then the code for this one is this simple code right here. So the first thing that I did is I declared a global variable. Okay, so when you say global, it's now outside your functionalities. Okay, so this is your function button one. But if it's inside, so like for example, this one dim num as integer, this one is a local variable. But if it's global, then it's outside your functions right here. So when say global, of course, I can access that one even though, let's say, we have another button right here. Okay, just for example. Okay, so this button right here can access this postsum right here. So postsum is equal to let's say 1, 2, 3. So we're just putting a default value of 1, 2, 3 to the postsum. So as you can see, it didn't give us an error even though I didn't declare any variable inside of this function right here. That's because I am accessing this global variable right here. Okay, so the reason why I did put a global variable so that we can store a value, okay, of that one, so that even though I keep on executing this function right here, the value postsum will still retain. Okay, so in here, if the number is above 0, of course, it will be displayed in postsum. If it's less than 0, it will display it on the next sum. And then for us to have an incrementing value, we have this plus num right here. So what is this num right here? It is coming from this text box one right here. Okay, so whatever is the last value of your post sum, okay, will be added by the inputted value of your text box 1. Okay, so the same with the next sum. And then after that, we are now going to display those neg sum and post sum on those text box 2 and 3. So text box 2, text box 3. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to get the concept. So you don't need to memorize anything. Okay, just learn the concept for now. Okay, that's basically programming. Okay, just as long as you know the concept, the correct syntax, then you're good to go. Okay, so that's the foundation for you to be able to become a good programmer. Okay, well, anyway, that's it for the exercise number 3. So let's move on to the exercise number 4. So if the slope is less than 0.5, then set the variable flag to 0, else set flag to 1. So this one is also super simple. Let's open a project, exercise number 4. Okay, let's see whatever is the changes in there. So I have here the this kind of interface. So all you have to do is put the value right here, okay, in this text box, and then we can verify. Okay, so if it's more than 1, if it's less than 0.5, then set the variable flag to 0. But if it's 0.6 and above, then we have to display a flag of 1. Okay, so let's try this one. So if we have 0.4, okay, so we're expecting a value of 0. Okay, and 0.5 is now above 0.5, and above is now 1 rather. Okay, but if it's 0.4 and below, then it will give us a result of 0. Okay, so yeah, just a super simple exercise. And then moving on to the exercise number 5. So if the difference between volts 1 and volts 2 is less than 0.001, set the variable approx to 0. Else calculate approx as volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. Okay, so again, let me just show this one to you guys. Right. So we have this kind of interface right here. So it says here that if volts 1 and volts 2 is less than 0.01, or yeah, the difference between volts 1 and volts 2. So if volts 1 minus volts 2 is equal to or less than 0.001, then we have to set the variable approx to 0. Okay, so this will be equal to 0. Okay, however, else calculate approx as volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. Okay, so let's have the first condition first. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So it is now lesser than 0.001. So we are expecting an approx of 0. Okay. However, if it's not 0, let's say it's not less than 0.001, let's say 2 minus 1 is 1. So it will now go to else condition right here. Is 1 right here. So we have this another formula wherein volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. So in here, if we have 2 minus 1, which is 1 divided by 2, so it will give us a result of 0.5. Okay, verify, so 0.5. So 4 minus 1 is 3, divided by 2 is 1.5. Okay, or 4 minus 2 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. Ayan. So all you need to do is follow whatever is the given condition right here, and then just try to make it work. So even though some of the answers doesn't make sense, some of the exercises uh, like came from nowhere. Yeah, just an exercise just to enhance more your if else statement familiarization. So yeah, that's it for the exercise number 5. So how did I do that one on the code? So on the verify, so I declared two variables, which is volts1, volts2 as decimal. Then again, I'm passing the value of text box about the volts1, passing the value of text box to volts2. And then we have here the first condition. So if volts1 minus volts2 is less than 0.01, then we'll be displaying 0. However, if it's not true, then it will proceed to this computation right here, wherein volts1 minus volts2 divided by 2. Then will be displayed on the text box 3.x. Okay, so are we clear so far? Can you guys still follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so very good. So I actually expect, you know, you guys to mind blown or not able to understand most of it. But if you guys can at least understand the concept, okay, and then the syntaxes, then you're doing great. Okay, so it's actually quite shocking, especially if it's your first time, facing this kind of uh, setup, especially for the programming. Anyway, so that's it for the exercise number 5. We're gonna proceed to the exercise number 6. So if the product between temp1 and temp2 exceeds 2.5 degrees, calculate error as temp1 minus temp2 times factor. So let me just open the exercise number 6. Okay, so it says here if the product between temp1 and temp2 exceeds 2.5. Okay, so for example, 2 times 2, so it's now 4. It now exceeds 2.5 degrees. Then we have to calculate error as temp1 minus temp2 times factor. Okay, so this one is 2 minus 2 times the factor. It will give us a factor of 0. So let me change this one into 3. So 2, okay, 3 na lang. 3 minus 2 is to give us a positive result. So 3 minus 2 is 1 times the factor, okay, which is, ano bang ginawa ko sa factor na value? Okay, let me just find the code for this one. Okay. So when you see factor, it is the multiplication factored value of your temp1 times temp2. Okay. So in here, let's go back with our first condition. 3 minus 2 is 3 times 2 is 6, which is more than 2.5 degrees. So it will now proceed to this error right here, which is temp1 minus temp2. So 3 minus 2 is 1, okay, times the factor, which is 3 times 2 is 6. So 1 times 6 is equal to 6. Okay. So what about if it's 4? So 4 times 2 is 8. So it's more than 2.5. Okay. And then so we're now going to proceed to this condition, temp1 minus temp2, which is 4 minus 2 is 2 times the factor is 1, which is 8. So 2 times 4 is 8. So 8 times 2 is 16. Okay. So there is only one condition and then one statement. So what if it wasn't able to meet the criteria? Let's say it's not more than 2.5. So 1 times 1 is still 1, you know. So it will give us a result of 0. That's because that is the one that I did put in here. So I just put here else text box 3 that text is equal to 0. Okay, or we could just simply say that instead of 0, no error, since the one that we are computing here is the error. Okay, okay, 1 times 1 is no error. Okay, so 2 times 2 is more than 2.5, so it will give us a computation. Okay, So yeah, another meaningless exercise. However, just simply follow what is being required, and then you'll be able to call this one. Uh, I forgot the proper term. You'll be able to uh, satisfy. You'll be able to satisfy your customer. So if, let's say, your customer is asking you to, let's say, 2 minus 2 is equal to 10. So that is what he or she wants. That is the one that he wanted you to program. Then just give him that kind of result. Okay, so 2 minus 2 is 10, or 2 plus 2 is 10. Okay, so the same with this exercises right here. So even though we cannot understand what it's really trying to achieve, so just simply follow that one, and then you'll be able to satisfy your customer. Okay, or you'll be able to satisfy this specific problem. Okay, well, anyway, so that's it for the exercise number 5. uh, since again we don't have enough time anymore, we'll just continue the rest on the part 3. Okay, so goodbye for now, and then see you guys on part 3. So you guys may leave now. Okay, we'll just meet again later on the part 3. And prepare also if ever you have a question later on, so just ask me on the part 3. Okay, so goodbye. All right, so hello again. So let me just check if you guys are already ready, so just give me a thumbs up. Okay, so at least half of you are already here. Okay, anyway, so uh do you guys have any questions so far? None? All right, so let us now proceed to the last exercise, which is the number 7. So if x, okay, seems that there is a question. Mm, so the question of Mr. Sawanen. So sir, tanong ko lang po sa mga computations, paano po maglagay ng comma if it's more than 3 digits? For example, 1,000 instead of uh, 1,000 na walang comma. Okay. So okay, I did discuss that one, and so it's actually with format. Okay, PFP. So it's on your module 7 finals. So format. Saan na yun? Hmm, right here. So if you would like to put a comma, let's say a separator, so you can use this format right here. So just put format 781,000.576. So the result of this one will become 781,234.58. So here's the syntax for that one. Okay, so it will get 2 decimals, which is 0.00, and then I think this is the syntax, okay, or the thing that you need to put for you to have a separator. Okay, so let's try to make this one work. Uh, okay, so let's create a new one. Ano ba ang pwede magamit? Okay, so I think none. So let's just have a new one. New separator. So let's have a simple addition. Text box. So we need 3 text box. And then label is this one, Result. Change this into size 30. Okay, for the label 1, operand 1. And for the label 2, it's operand 2, and then result. So what I'll do here is I will add them using a button. Oops. What happened? It is now not responding. Okay, and then this button 1 will be changed into add. Okay, so let me program this one real quick. X, Y, X, X box, X, and then if as simple as text box x is equal to x plus y. Okay, and then the result should be formatted. Okay, so instead of 781 point something, we'll use those variables for the computed value. Okay, and then you're only going to get 2 decimals. So instead of integer, let's change this one into double so that we can have a decimal. Let's try this one so that we can have a separator 1, 2, 4, 5 dot 3, 2, 4. And then we have another one which is 5,943 that 1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so if I add them, so it will give us a result of 7,188.55. Okay, so we now have a separator in here. Okay, so just get this syntax right here. So if you want to remove the 2 decimals, so just remove 0.00, I guess, and then just retain this hashtag or number sign, comma, number sign, number sign. So I hope I was able to answer your question. There you go. What if we have decimal? So it will not accept that a decimal anymore since we did remove the 0.00 right here. Okay. So to make this one complete, you have to include the 0.00 so that it can compute a decimal point. Okay. So any other concerns? Concerns or questions? Okay, so I guess none anymore. All right, so let us now proceed to the next example. Okay, so wait a second, guys. I need to drink water. Medyo uh, may plema kasi ako ngayon dito kaya hindi ako masyado makapag Salita na maayos. Anyway, so 1 minute, guys. Alright, so sorry for that and thank you for waiting. So ito yata yung epekto ng naambunan. Okay, naambunan kahapon. Anyway, so let us now proceed to the sample problem number 7. So in here, it is asking us to write a program that allows the user to input an integer, and then if the value is greater than or equal to 0, print the word positive. Otherwise, it is negative number. Print the word negative. So we have already, made this one a while ago. So it's just that we have two quotation. But in here, we're going to use this syntax, wherein if this is true, if x is greater than or equal to 0, it will display message box that show positive. And if this is false, then it will proceed to the next statement, which is negative. Okay, so do I still need to show this one, guys? Because I already showed this one. This is a different way of doing it before. So this is just a different syntax. Okay, so let me ask your permission. So I will not show this one to you guys anymore, okay? Since we have already answered this one a while ago. Okay, so just a different syntax. Are we okay with that one? For us to be able to save time and then we can proceed to the next one. Okay, there's only one. What about the others? I hope you guys are in front of your computer. Okay, alright, so let's now move on to the sample problem number 8. So you've been hired as a programmer by SFP Sending Field Telecoms, which is a mobile telecommunications company. So you are to write a program that will ask the user to input the number of text messages incurred by a SFT cell phone subscriber. So text messaging charge is computed based on the number of text messages. Charge is 0 for the first 100 messages, and then text messages beyond that are charged by 50 centavos per message. So the program should output the charge incurred. So we have here the sample interface. So just a reminder, and then let's say for now we have a number of text messages of 150. So the first 100 is for free. Okay, so you're being charged 0. However, the 50, let's see, the extra 50 right here will now be charged to you. Okay, 50 cents per message. Okay, so 0.50 times 50 is of course equal to 25 pesos. Okay, so here's the code for this one. So in here we declared two variables. So one is ntext as a short and then build as a single. So actually you can just combine them. Let's say ntext and then build as single. So short is just a shorter range of number when it comes to decimals. And then single is just a larger range of numbers when it comes to decimals. And then double is now larger. Decimal is now larger. Long is larger. Okay. It just comes with different range of numbers. Okay. So in here, ntext is equal to textbox1.text. So whatever is the value of textbox1 will be passed on to the ntext. So this is not the one that we are going to compare. So if ntext is greater than 100, then you have to do this computation. So bill is equal to ntext minus 100. So you have to deduct the 100, okay, since 100 text messages is for free. Okay, and then whatever is the remaining number of this one will be multiplied to 0.5. Okay, and then will be displayed on the bill. So bill is being displayed on the text box 2. Okay, where it's being format. So that is the reason why we have this PHP right here. Okay, else if ntext is not greater than 100, then it will display a 0, since the first 100 text messages is for free. Okay, so this is sample problem number 8. Let me just show this one to you guys. Number 8. Okay, let's save that one. All right. So let's say 50. So it's less than 100. So it's still for free. Okay, so 0, 0. If it's 99, it's still free. If it's 100, it is still free. But if it's now 101, it's now more than 100. So one text messages now, a message now is or will be charged to you as 0.5. Okay, 0.5. So if it's 102, then 0.5 times 2 is 1 peso. So if it's 200, then it's 50 pesos already. 2,000 is 500. 950. Sorry for that. Okay. So we have to deduct the first 100 text message. So all in all, you have a 50 pesos free text message. Okay. So 150 is 25. So same result with whatever we have in here. Okay. And then this peso sign is now changed into, or this PHP rather is now changed into peso sign, a real peso sign. Okay. Because this PHP can, we can just type it as PHP, but here we cannot find this peso sign on our keyboard. Okay. So yeah, that's it for the exercise sample problem number 7. Not number 7, number 8 rather, sorry. So are we clear so far with this sample problem? Hello, hello, hello. So any questions so far? Okay, so I guess not. Okay, so let's now move on to the next one, which is sample problem number 9. So you were hired as a programmer by TNP, which is Telepono ng Pilipino, which is a phone company. So TNP employs a metering scheme in computing the telephone bill. The metering scheme is as follows. So calls made on a weekday between 6 a.m. to 6:59 p.m. are charged at 7 pesos and 50 centavos, okay, per minute. And then charges made at other times, which is it's still weekday. However, it is now ranging from 7 p.m. to 5:59 a.m. Okay, right here. So I just get the other way around of this first concept right here. So you're going to be charged 5 pesos per that one. Okay, but during weekends, calls made anytime on weekend, okay, are charged at a rate of 3 pesos per minute. Okay. So I hope you guys were able to get idea. So yeah, this one is quite mind-blowing. This one is quite difficult to understand. Anyway, so these are the things that you need to use. So for the call, you have to use date for that one. So date when the call was made, you have to use date time picker. Okay, and then you have to format this one using long. Well, you can use double, you can use a single. However, it's just the syntax that's or the kind of uh, variable, okay, that we need to use. And then for the time, so when the call started, use datetime picker control, and then the property of that one should be time. Okay. And for the integer representing duration of the call in minutes, assume that all calls are rounded to the next minute. So for example, if you have lasting 2 minutes and 35 seconds, you have to put their 3-minute call already. Okay. So it will always be rounded into the next number. Okay, so if you exceed to, let's say, 2 minutes and 1 second, it is already a 3-minute call. Okay, so we have here the sample interface. Okay, so we have here the date of call and then the time of call, and then the duration of that call. Okay, so in here we're going to verify if it's weekdays or weekend, and then in here we're going to check if it's during the daytime. Okay, right here, daytime. Okay, up to actually it's daytime up to 7 p.m. I mean 6:59 p.m. Uh, the other way around is 7 p.m. to 5:59 a.m. Okay, so if it's night, oops. So in here, if it's night, okay, until 5:59 a.m., then the charge is now, of course, different. And then you have to put here the duration of call in minutes. Okay, and then just click compute, and then it will give you this kind of result, depending on those values of those. So we have here this sample, I mean, the given code. Okay, so this is already a working code. Just make this one work. So you can copy the entire code and then paste it on your own. Just make sure that the uh, where is that one? Here. So the daytime picker. So this is the DTP date, daytime picker one, and then the next one is daytime picker two, which is DTP time. Okay. So just for you to remove those errors. Okay. So after that, you can now make that one work for now. Okay, just try to play and then uh, try to change the values of this one, and then click compute for you to have the result in here. Okay. Anyway, so let me just explain this one real quick. So I did declare three variables as integer. Okay, which is id, itime, and then iduration, and then tickle bill as double. Okay. So constant, week, regular. So in here, I declared three variables, okay, for the three different charges. So week regular call is 7.5 during the daytime, and then week this call, which is for the night time, which is 5 pesos per minute, and then anytime on the weekend is 3 pesos. Okay, so in here, we are now passing the value of your daytime picker, date right here into id, and then daytime picker time into itime, and then text duration, okay, which is this one, into I duration. And then those variables now are the one that we are going to use to compare or to compute the result, okay, in here. So if id is less than or equal to 1, and id is less than or equal to 5, then uh, if I time is less than or equal to 6 and I time is less than or equal to 18, then tickle bill is equal to duration times week cycle. So as you guys can see, we have two conditions. Okay, so the first one is trying to check if it's weekends, okay, or weekdays. And then the next one is trying to check if it's daytime or nighttime. So if those two is true, then it will proceed to this computation right here. Okay, but if one of them is not true, then it will proceed to this one. Okay, and for the this one is for weekdays. So if it's weekend, okay, then it will proceed to this weekend call computation. Okay, and then whatever is the result or computed value will be displayed on the text .bill.text. So this one is this text box right here. Okay, and then we just formatted this one again using this currency. So you can actually put here, what is the one that we've used a while ago? Still currency. It's still the same. Okay, currency, which is the peso sign right here. So this is sample problem number 9. So let me just show this one to you guys, the working program of sample problem number 9. Okay, so the code is the same. Okay, and then the form one. Okay, so I forgot to include that one. Wala naman. Anyway, why do I have a form one load right here? Mm, Okay, let me just make this one as a comment. So whatever code we have in here, I just copy and paste it right here, and then just change the datetime picker one into its respective name. And then here's the sample interface, which is the same as this one. Okay, so let's try this one. So let's choose weekdays. So let's say March 16, 2021, which is Tuesday, so it's weekday. And then let's choose uh umaga na lang. So let's say 7:46 a.m. Okay, and then 5-minute call. So during the weekdays, yes, Miss Precious. So
Ay, sorry po.
yeah, that's okay. So during the weekdays, we have here the 7 pesos and 50 centavos per minute. Okay, so 750 times 5 is 30, 750. Okay, so just multiply this one by 750. But if it's a night time, let's see, 7:46 p.m., so the computation for that one is 5 pesos per minute. So 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, and then what else? So during the weekends, so let's say Saturday, March 20, and so anytime on the weekend, so the computation for that one is 3 pesos per minute. So 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so if it's 20, so 3 times 20 is 60 pesos. Okay, so again, this PHP right here is now a peso sign. Okay, so I don't require you guys to understand this one right now. Okay, well, I just explain the things, what's happening for this condition, and then this condition. So just watch this video, okay, again, if you want to analyze what happened right here. Okay, and then yeah, uh, for you to be able to completely understand this sample problem number 9. Well, anyway, so yeah, that's it for the sample problem number 9. So let's now proceed to the sample problem number 10. Okay, wala na palang number 10. Anyway, so we have here the most uh, the super complete syntax, okay, of the if statement. So you can have multiple condition. So we have this condition, okay, and then you can have another condition. Let's say else if. Okay, you can have a 3, 4, or 5 condition as you want. Just follow this syntax right here. Okay, so what will happen if none of those conditions were true? So the same thing that will happen. Okay, it will proceed to our else statement. Okay, so meaning none of those statements were true. So it will just fall on this else uh, condition right here. Okay, or else statement right here. So this will be executed. So for you to appreciate this one, let's have this example for now. So if this is true, then this will be executed. Okay. But if this is not true, then it might find another condition. Let's say this one, this might be true. So if this is true, then this will be executed. Okay. So what if none of those were true? Then it will now proceed to this last else statement right here. Okay. So let's have an example. So sample problem number 11. So create a Vue project that enables the user to input shape names using a text box. So circle, triangle, square, pentagon, etc., up to decagon. So display the number of sides the inputted shape has. If the text doesn't match one of these shapes, display not a valid shape. So let me just show this one to you guys. Number 11. Okay, so I have the same interface just like what we have in here. So the inputted shape and then the number of sides that will be displayed on this text box. Okay, so let's change the back color of this one into yellow for us to have the same interface. And then for the code, okay, so we have a lot of conditions. So if shape is equal to circle, it will display 0. Else if, so this is the second condition, if you put the triangle, then it will display this number of uh, what's one number of sides. Okay, if it's square or rectangle, then it will display 4, pentagon is 5, hexagon is 6, heptagon is 7, etc., etc. So if none of those that you have typed is were true, then it will proceed to this else statement right here. Okay, so let's try this one out. So if it's circle, then it will give us 0. If it's square, then 4. If it's hexagon, then it will display 6. Octagon is 8. Decagon is 10. But what if we have 11? So 11 is undecagon. Am I correct? Is undecagon 11? Oh, just try to search that one on the internet. Well, anyway, this one doesn't actually exist. Okay, so if it doesn't exist on our conditions, then it will proceed to the invalid inputted shape. Okay, just like what we're having here right now. Okay, undecagon. Undecagon is 11 sides. So 11 sides. So actually, we have another name for undecagon, which is uh, hendecagon. So they are just the same. Hendecagon is 11 straight sides. So yeah, we have two names, I guess, for 11 sides. So we can just put here or shape is equal to decagon. Okay, so that once we're going to put here decagon, we can now have a result of 11. Okay, so yeah, that's it for with the usage of many or multiple conditions. So are we clear so far with sample problem number 11? Can you guys still follow? Okay. So again, I'm just giving you guys the concept. So that is the way of explaining things way of explaining things when it comes to programming. Okay. So this is actually uh, a good startup. So just know the concept. Never mind the how to do it. As long as you know the concept and the syntax, and then you'll be able to figure out other things later on. Okay. So yeah, just learn the basics first. Anyway, that's it for the sample problem number 11. And then we have here sample problem number 11, but it's not letter B. So revise problem number 11 such that user chooses various selections using checkbox to determine the number of sides that selected polygon instead of typing the name of the polygon. So we have this sample interface right here, and then the number of sides will be displayed right here. So this one is super simple also. The same concept, just a different approach. Okay, so here's the code for that one. So in here, instead of typing, so this one now is check. Okay, if it's being checked, okay, if it's true, then this one will be displayed. Okay, if this one is checked, then this one will be displayed, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here's the sample interface. So nonagon is 9. Okay, right here. pentagon is 5, undecagon is 11. So it just depends on whatever value we have in here. Okay. So all you need to do is put the corresponding value of that text right here, or this radio button right here. Okay. So I hope you guys got the idea. So here's the code or the program for the sample problem number 11. Okay, so it's radio button 1 up to radio button 10. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the sample problem number 11. So time check, we don't have enough time anymore, so we still have 2 minutes left. I don't know if we can still, oh yeah, maybe we can still finish sample plan number 12. Anyway, so to make it real quick, this is a bingo. Okay, so whatever is the corresponding value of this one, the letter will be displayed in here. So here's the range: 1 to 15 is B, and then 16 to 30 is I, 31 to 45 is N, and so on and so forth, up to 75, which is O. So composing the letter of B-I-N-G-O, or bingo. Okay. So let me just show this one to you guys. Number 12. So 1 minute and 49. So we have this range. If number is 1 to 15, then it will display letter B. Number is 16 to 30, it's I, 31 to 45 is N, and so on and so forth. Okay. So if it's not within the range anymore, let's see 76 and above, then I'll just display here not within the range of bingo numbers. So let's try this one out. So 1 to 15 is B, and then 16 to, I don't know, but yeah, it's letter I, and then letter N, and then G, and then O, and then after 75, it will give us now a warning, wherein 76 is not within the range of bingo numbers anymore. Okay, simple as that for this sample problem number 12. Okay, I just did use a numeric up down. So this one has a capability to increment and then decrement by 1. Okay, but of course you can also change this one real quick into 24. But we have to click this one, okay, because it will not be call this one. It will not be triggered, okay, if you're not clicking this numeric up down. Well, anyway, so that's it for the sample problem number 12. So we now only have 1 minute left. So we don't have enough time anymore. So we'll just continue the remaining slides next meeting. Okay, so here's the solution, which what I have in here. Okay, so thank you guys for coming. And then if ever that you have a question, so just message me. Okay. Okay, so can you guys see my screen now? Hello? Are you guys seeing my screen? Okay. So where did we stop last meeting? Last week? So are we done with this one? This shapes with radio buttons. Finish? Okay. What about this one? Sample problem number 12. This bingo. Finish? I think we're done with this one, right? And how about random numbers? Are we done with random numbers? Anyone? Hello? Di ba kayo makapag-type? Or is your mic not working, guys? I just feel like you guys are not around. Hello? Miss Alvarado? Okay, thank you for your response. Okay, let me just check if everybody is already in here. Miss Reginald Gumilab. Okay, Miss Jelinda Maslog. Well, I'm sure she's here since she's the one
Present, sir.
responding. Okay, good. Working naman pala yung mic eh. So, it would be better kapag mic na lang yung gamitin. Okay, kasi mas mabilis. Kaysa naghihintay ako ng mga thumbs up. Yeah, what about you, Mr. Copper?
Present, sir.
Okay. Mr. Emilio Ben?
Present po, sir.
Mr. Gert Elad?
Sir, present.
Miss Feby Mangili?
Present, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Sawanen?
Present, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Kiano?
Present, sir.
And Mr. Nicolo?
Present, sir.
And Miss Stephanie?
Present, sir.
Okay, very good. So all of you are here right now. So I hope that after 10 minutes or 20 minutes of discussion, you guys are still there, okay? All right, so let's start now with let's continue now our discussion. So let's talk about random numbers. So random numbers from the word itself, so it randomizes a certain number. Okay, however, here in Visual Basic, it can only randomize 0 to 1. Okay, that's a limitation. But of course, we have another function called next. Okay, later on we'll discuss that one. Okay, so it is also a randomizer, but you have to set a certain range of number. But in here, when we see random numbers, we have this function, Rnd close and up and parentheses. So just use this one, and then it will pass a random number to this left side variable. Okay. However, again, it will only randomize from 0 to 1. So it's 0, 0.05, 0.10, 0.50, and so on and so forth. So this is one example of this randomizer. So let's have an actual example of this one. So let me just open a project. I think I already have this one. Mm, Random function. Okay. All right, so I only have two components, a text box and then e button. So this is the one that we're going to program. So this is the code. Okay, just wait a second. Sorry for that. Ano kasing pusa. Okay, so let me just copy this one and then replace this code for now. Okay, single and then s round x plus 1. All right, so in here we only have 3 lines of codes in total. So we have the declaration part wherein I declared a single variable. So this one could be any variable. So let's say x, so that's also possible. Okay, so any variable, okay? And then this is now the randomizer, okay? So Rnd close and up in parentheses. So whatever number it will be able to generate, so it will be passed on our variable x, okay? Then after that, you can now display that one on our text box one.txt, which is this one, okay? As simple as that. Okay, so if I click this one, it will generate a number 0.7055475. Okay, so if I click again, it will generate another random number, another random number, another random number. So see, it's only generating a random number from 0 to 1. So if you want to have a whole number, okay, so it's also super simple. Just multiply this one to, let's say you want to generate from 1 to 100. I mean 1 to 10. Okay, so just multiply, 100. Just multiply this one to 100. Okay, so this number now will generate up to 100. Okay, however, it still has a decimal, so 70, 53 point something, etc., etc. So if you want to have a whole number, that's also okay. Okay, as long as you have this format function, and you can now, oops, it's correct. So let me put zoom on the another parenthesis and then comma. Oops, is it lagging? And then we have this format 0.00. Wait a second. I think it doesn't need the apostrophe. Okay, let's try this one. So there you go. This will now generate a whole number, okay, without a decimal point. Okay. So what else? Okay. So I forgot to mention this one actually has a bug, or uh, let's say a fatal flaw, wherein, let me just remove this one. Okay, wherein our first generated number is a fixed value. Okay, so it will always generate the 0.7055475. Okay, so let's try again. So initially, that's always the number that it will generate, 0.7055475. So that is why Visual Basic created a remedy for this one, this value right here, 0.7055475. So let me introduce to you another function which is called randomize. So basically, we're going to randomize the randomizer. Okay, so we're going to use a total of 2 randomizer in one function, so that we can solve this kind of problem. Okay, so all you need to do is put the randomize here, so that our first number is not set 0.75475 anymore. Okay, so we now have a complete working randomizer. Okay, so this is not biased anymore. We cannot predict what is the next number. Okay, with the use of another randomizer. Okay, so are we clear with that one so far for those two functions, Rnd and then randomize? What about the others?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So this is one helpful function. So just remember this one and then the syntax. Okay, so we have here alternative solution to bingo. So before, we have to type that one, okay, using this numeric up down. But in here, okay, we can just have a button so that it can generate a random number. Okay, so the same with bingo, we shuffle it, right? And then we don't know which what do you call this one, which chip or which number will be picked. Okay, so this is also a, you know, a good function for us to have a complete working bingo game. Okay, like we don't really know what number will come next. So let me just show to you guys what will happen. So in here we have a randomize. So for us to be able to solve this Rnd function, so we're going to multiply this one by 100 since we wanted to generate a range of number from 1, okay, to 100. Okay, so with that, this will now generate that kind of number. However, in bingo, remember that we only have up to 75. Okay, that's the maximum number. So as you guys can see, we have this let's say cases. Okay, for this case, we have 1 to 15, which is will generate letter B. 16 to 30 is I. 31 to 45 is N. 46 to 60 is G. And then the last one, okay, other than those, okay, if none of those were correct, it will fall on our letter O, which is 61 up to 75. However, if it falls to, let's say, 88, 85, it will still display letter O, okay, or this else case right here, okay. So as a remedy, okay, so we have this else right here, okay, another else wherein we have this function go to rep. So I think it's very straightforward. Okay, if none of those were true, let's say, because in here initially we are already checking if it's equal or less than 75. Okay, so if none of those were true, were true, then it will fall on this else statement, meaning the number might be 77, 78, 89, 90, or anything that is beyond 75. Okay, so this go to rep will just basically go to this variable rep. So where is this rep? It's right here. Okay, so it will generate again another number. Okay, and then until it falls to this condition right here. So once this one became true, then it will not generate another random number again. Okay, so this is another solution. Okay, because we cannot limit the range of the number that it can generate. So this is a solution wherein if it's beyond 75 and above, then we can use this function go to rep so that it can generate again another random number, and then it will only stay on this range right here. Okay, which is the word bingo. Okay, so let me just show this one. Alternative solution to bingo. Okay, so this rep right here can be, can be any variable. Okay, so one thing, you don't also need to declare this one. You can just put here the name that you wanted to use. Let's say loop one, or go back, copy, and then paste. Okay, so that's also possible. Go back. Okay, or go to line 5. Okay, because this is line 5. Okay, so as long as they are the same. Okay, and then the variable that you've used is not a special variable. Okay, so after this, where is the play button? F5. Okay, so in here, generate a random number. So 62 is O, 21 is I, 45 is N, and so on and so forth. Okay, so as you guys can see, it will never generate a number of 75 and above due to this line of code right here. Okay, so were you guys able to follow so far on this example? Okay, so I hope the others were able to follow also. Anyway, so moving on, we have this another randomizer. So this is the third type of randomizer. So this is the best randomizer that I could say, since this is in all in one. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, let's say we declared a variable dim number as new random. Okay, so it's not integer, it's not single, it's not double, it's not string. Okay, just declare this variable as a new random. Then this variable now will generate a random number. Okay, plus it can limit the range, the number that it can generate. Okay, like for example, dim x as integer. So this is where we are going to display the randomized number. Okay, so just use this one. So no dot next and then up to 25. But just take note that when I say 25, it means 25 characters. So it's not 1 to 25, but it's 0 to 24. So if you want to generate a number from up to 25, so this one should be 26. Okay, so it's always less 1 due to we have to start at 0. Okay, so if I will show this one to you guys, it will work the same. Open project. Mali yata yung pinili ko kanina. Anyway, yeah, iba nga. So let's do that one by one. Dim number as new random. And then dim x as integer. Okay, so this one also dictates will it accept, okay, or will it display a whole number, or will it display a decimal. So if you want a whole number, just declare this one as integer. Okay, if you want to display this one an a decimal, then use single or double. Okay, and then next is ano ba yung susunod? Okay, wala kasi siyang ginamit ng text box. So, sa atin, mag-generate muna tayo ng number. Let's say we want to generate a number from a 0 to 30. So this one will become 31. Okay, and then we're going to display this one on text box 1.text. So this is our text box 1, and then this is the button. Random. Okay, let's try this one out. Where did my play button go? What happened? Let me just reset. But anyway, just use F5. Okay, so here's now the randomizer. So this is a randomizer wherein yeah, same. It will generate a value from 0 to 30. Okay. Parang may nakita akong 31 kanina. Anyway, guni-guni ko lang natin. So if you want to have a decimal, then just change this integer to single or double. Okay. Oops. Ayaw pa rin. So I think it's only limited to whole number, I guess. Even though we've changed the variable type of this x, wherein it can display now a decimal. Let me just try this one out. Okay, so initially, so this even though this one is single or double, this will only really display a whole number. Okay, so that is one limitation of this new random. So if you want to generate a decimal, okay, when it's completely decimal, so 0 point something, then you have to use the first randomizer, the Rnd function. Okay, so yeah, that's it with this randomizer. So this is a new random. So we have another alternative solution. So I will not show this one to you guys anymore, since we've just used the same concept, just a different function. Okay, so in here we have this new random declared as a new random, and then dim x as the integer. So this is where we are displaying, okay, that letter right here, and then this will generate a number from 0 to 75. Okay, right here. And then if well, go to next. Why do we have this one? Because this will surely I see. Okay, so the reason why we have this one, this go to and then this variable right here, because there is a chance that this will generate a value of 0. Okay, so take note that this new random will generate a 0 number, but in Mingo we don't have 0 numbers. So just in case it generate a 0 number, so it will not fall in this one, so it will go to else, and then it will now go to this function, go to, and the next. So it will generate again another random number. Okay. So next one is the select case statement. So let me just clarify this one. Okay. So if we have Rnd function, okay, wherein of course the role of this one is to generate a random number, which is the same with randomize. Okay, wherein the role of this one is to generate a random number. Okay, which is again the same with new random. Okay, which is again to generate a random number. So as you guys can see, you have 3 ways to generate a random number. Okay, so in cases, okay, or let's just say, yeah, cases is the best term for that one. So if we have many cases, okay, or many if statements, okay, so we can use two. Okay, that is the if statement or the case or select case statement. Okay, so either of those two will give you the same result. Okay, it's just your preference on which one or which syntax you're going to use. Okay, so both of them can do what the other thing can do. Okay, so both of them doesn't have that kind of limitation. So yeah, out of them will be fine. Okay, it's just now your own preference which one you're going to use. Okay, so without a further delay, let me introduce to you guys the select case statement. So in here, we have the syntax right here. So it can be used when there are multiple selection possibilities. So syntax, select case, and then the variable name. And then here's the first case. So here's the condition and then the statement. So if this is true, it will execute this statement. So if this one is not true, then it might proceed to another case. So if this condition right here is true, then it will execute this statement. So take note, it says here statement, so you can also have as many statements as you want. Okay, so if none of those were true, then it will proceed to this case else. So in if statement, we only have else, but in here we have case. So if in if statement, we have if right here, but in here we have case. Okay, so we just change some of the terminologies when it comes to the syntax. Okay, so the main advantage of select statement is the condition and then the statement. Okay, so you guys will see later on that this one is much more simpler to use, much more easier to use, much more easier to implement. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, everything in here is a lot easier than using an if-else statement. Okay, so instead of having an end if right here, will give us an end select ending syntax. Okay, so without a further delay, let me introduce this if statement. So before we already have this example using if statement. So it's just a different, different condition and then different statement. So if age is equal to 5, then category is equal to 5-year-old. Else if greater than or equal to 13 and age is less than or equal to 19. Okay, wherein 13, 19 is of course teenager. And then in here, 20 to 35, or age is equal to 50, or age is less than, I mean, greater than or equal to 60, and then age is less than or equal to 65, meaning 60 to 65, then the category is a special adult. Okay. And then else if, okay, so if none of those were true, then it will proceed to this one. So 65 and above is already considered as a senior citizen. And if none of those were true, then it will proceed to this last category, wherein it will say everyone else. Okay, so this is just an example, but if you guys are going to compare this one using a select case statement, so as you guys can see, age is equal to 5, in here we'll just say a case 5 because the variable is already declared on the initial slide right here. Not initial slide, the initial line of code right here, wherein we have this one, select case and then age. Okay, and then after that, in if statement, we have this age is equal to 5, blah, 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 and then the statement, right? So in here, we're just going to say 5, and then category is equal to 5-year-old. Okay, and in here, we have 13 to 19, so we have to use those what do you call this one? A comparator, okay, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, etc., etc. But in here, we're just going to say 13 to 19. Okay, so instead of having this, long line of code just to say that we have an age 13 to 19, we have to use those comparator. But in here, you just need to use the word to. Okay, so 13 to 19 is teenager, 20 to 35, exactly 50. And then 60 to 65 is a special adult. Comparing this third case right here, in here, this one is quite long to, uh, to write as a code, to implement as a code. Okay, and then at the same time, it's not easy to understand, not that straightforward as the case statement. Okay, so this line of code can be converted into this line of code in case statement. Okay, so 20 to 35, 50, 60 to 65 is a special rule. Okay, and then greater than 65 is senior citizen. And then if none of those were true, then it will fall on this everyone else. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to get the concept, or at least the syntax, okay, of select case statement. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to decide which one you're going to use. Both of them is correct. Both of them is okay. Okay, so it's now your own preference which one you're going to use. Okay, so are we clear so far with the syntax of select case statement? Okay, all right, so great. So let's have an exercise. So it says here, revise using select case statement. So we have this if else blah 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 blah. So let me just copy this one, and then let me show this one to you guys. So new project, and I'll name this one, what should I name this one? Exercise number 1. All right, so in here, what do we need to display? We need to display like a bingo. Okay, and then we can use numeric up down. Okay, numeric up down. Then what else we need? Label, and we need 2 labels. So let me just change the font size into 50, and this one into 60. This is the one that we're going to use display. Sige, okay lang, label 1. And in here, number, bingo number. And then here's the equivalent letter. Okay, on this label 1 right here. And then this is the one that we're going to program. So let me just copy and paste this one to make it real quick. And declare this num as integer. Okay, and this numeric up down is named numeric up down 1. Okay, let me just fix this one real quick. And this letter right here is label 1, label 1. Ayaw. Else if 16 num and num label 1 else if okay, great. Let's try this one. Okay, so 0 to 15 and 1 to 15 is B, and then 16 and above up to 31 is I, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can also type right here 67, which is O. So our goal is to change this one into select case statement. So that's super easy. So for the declaration, we don't need to change anything on that one. So in here, instead of declaring the variable num on every condition, we are going to declare that one here. Okay, oops. And then this if right here will become case. Okay, and this condition right here is 1 to 15. Then this one will become 1 to 15. And then we don't need that then. And then for the statement, it will stay the same. Okay, it's just that the condition that will be changed. So in here, 16 to 30, 16 to 30, and then we don't need that then. And then 31 to 45, remove the 10. And then 46 to 60. How many time do we have more? Okay, so since we don't have enough time anymore, we'll just continue this one on the part 2. Okay, so goodbye for now, and then see you guys later. Okay. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so let me just check if you guys are already in front of your computer. So again, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, so great. Most of you are already here. So let us now continue this one. So we've stopped right here. So this one is 46 to 60. 46 to 60, and then we have to remove this 10 right here, and then the what happened right here? Did we miss something? My bad. This one is not else if. So this one should be case now. Case, case, case. And then this one is case else. Okay, and then this end if is end select. Oops. And select. Select case now, etc. etc. Okay, so see, we have a neater code. We have a code that is easier to understand. Okay, a very straightforward code, and then display the same. Okay, so 0, I mean 1 to 15 is B, and so on and so forth. So this one works the same as what we had a while ago. Okay, just a different syntax using a select case statement. Okay, so any questions so far? Questions, or are we clear so far with the select case statement? Were you guys able to follow? Hello. Okay. Okay, great. Very good. So that's how easy to convert uh, an if-else statement into select case statement. Okay. So the same with this one. So I will not show this one anymore since they are just the same. Okay. Because supposedly this will be your exercise, but due to lack of time and we don't uh, have enough time to discuss all of them, and for you guys to be able to do them also. So I will not give those exercises anymore. Okay, so we'll skip this one, and then we will also skip this one. So anyway, they are just super the same. Just change this one into case, and then instead of having this one, just have a select case and then variable factor. Okay, for the statements, they will stay the same. Okay, so here's now your fifth quiz. Yeah, quiz number 5. Fifth quiz exercise number 4, a case statement. So the deadline, okay, is July 31. So you guys exactly have 10 days to do this one. So this one is super simple. Okay, if you're good with if else statement, then maybe you can make this one work using if else statement. But if you think you can go straight using a select case statement, okay, just like what we did in here, then feel free to do that one. Okay, so in here, just write a select case statement that tests the age variable and assigns the name of the favorite snack of that age group to the variable snack according to the following preferences. So just use the same. Okay, just use a numeric up down. Okay, so numeric up down and then a button to trigger and then display the word yogurt, potato chips, chocolate, and then gum on a certain label. Okay, so if the age is between 7 to 12, then I must see a favorite snack of potato chips. Okay, the same with the others. If it's 13 to 18, then it must be chocolate. If it's age 18 or over 18, then that must be gum. Okay, so were you guys able to follow this one? Your fifth quiz. This is actually your last quiz. Okay, which is super easy also. Hello, hello. Any questions with your additional activity? Okay, so it seems that there is no question. All right, so moving on, we have another exercise, but then again, I will not show this one to you guys anymore since it's pretty the same, just like what we did on the first example. Okay, so let's now move on to the message box, okay, which is another function. So there is a question. Yeah, so vb.net, yun ba yun? Okay, let me just check. So upon creating a new project, so take note I'm using 2019, and then this is the interface of 2019 upon creating a new project. So all of them are .NET framework actually. So we have WPF, we have Windows Forms Control Library, we have browser, we have WPF User Control Library, Windows Service, etc., etc. All of them are .NET framework. Okay, so the only thing that you guys need to choose is this word right here. Okay, Windows Forms app. Okay, so under this we have desktop, Visual Basic, and then Windows. Okay, so don't get wrong with this one, because once you chose the other platform, okay, then for sure we're going to have a different uh, in let's say interfaces or setup, and then at the same time the language that you're going to use. Okay, so this one is the one that you should choose. Okay, so Windows Forms app .NET framework. Okay, So I hope we're clear with that one, Mr. Keanu. All right, so let's now continue this one. So the message box. So we have already, have an idea what is a message box a while ago. Okay, I mean last week. Okay, this one right here. Okay, this is a message box wherein it has an OK button. You can even put an icon. Okay, and then you can even change the title. Okay, so this is the complete syntax of the message box. Okay, so on how you're going to change the message, the type, and then the title. Okay, so of course from the word message box, this one displays a message optional icon and selected set of command buttons. So the user responds by clicking a button. Okay, so it will only be triggered once you have click a certain button. Okay, maybe it will show a text, will show a solution, show a result. Okay, it can display anything as long as it's possible. Okay, so here's the syntax. So message box and then the message. Okay, so the only one that we do is actually displaying the message. Okay, and our last uh, or in our examples using a message box, we're not actually changing the type and then the title. So in here, we're going to discuss completely how to change the type and then the title. So message is just a text message that you need to display. Okay, and then type is a type of message box. So you can change the icon type. You can even change the button, okay, button type. So initially, it will give you a default button of OK button. But of course, you can uh, call this one modify that one. Okay, you can add another button like OK, cancel, yes, no, abort, cancel. What else? So those only you will see later on what are the types or the kinds of button that we can put on a message box. And then the last one is of course the title. So very straightforward. It is the text in title bar of the message box. Okay. So we have this example. So initially we have the message, okay, which is this one, welcome to VB 2005 Express. Second is followed by the type. Okay, so in here we have this syntax, message box style that information, which is this icon right here. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's very straightforward. When see information, we have this letter I right here. And then the last one is greetings, which is the title. So by default, since we didn't put here the type of button that we're going to put, it will give us one option only, which is the OK button. Okay, so much with that. Let's have a more in-depth learnings when it comes to kinds of icon, kinds of button. Okay, so let me show to you guys the types of icon first. So we have four types of icon. So the one that we have used on this one is the information icon, okay, which is this one. And then we also have exclamation point. Let's just say that this is a warning icon, okay. And then we have a question, very, uh, very common. And then we have also a very common icon, which is a critical icon, okay, or could be an error icon, okay, or it's saying that you did something wrong, okay, or it's trying to warn you that you have an error at that on that certain area, okay. So in here it's a warning, but in here it's already a critical icon, meaning there's already something wrong with the system, okay. So those are the usage of those icons. So question mark is of course very straightforward. So you're asking a question, okay, this one is warning you, okay, like are you sure you want to delete uh, this data, so yes or no, something like that. And then if it's information, then mostly it only has one option, which is the OK button, since it's just an information, okay. So in here you can use the where is it one, you can use the symbolic constant, okay. So the one that we have used before is the message box style that information. So message box style that information, but you can actually use the value also, okay. So instead of using this entire text, you can just put here 64. So later on I'll give you guys an example. But for now, let me introduce to you guys the kinds of arguments or the kinds of button that you can display. So initially, of course, by default, we have this OK button. Okay. If you want to have another option, you can have OK cancel. Okay. It's just that I wasn't able to show in here, but we have OK cancel button here. And then we have another option, which is abort, retry, and then ignore. So in here, we have the abort, retry, and then ignore. So the third one, I mean the fourth one is the yes, no cancel. Okay, so you now have a yes, no cancel button right here. Okay, and then we have yes, no button, and then we have retry, cancel button. So those are the kinds of button that you can put on a message box. Okay, so again, you can use this symbolic constant. You can type the entire text. Let's say message box style that okay only, message box style that okay cancel, message box style abort, retry, ignore, yes, no cancel, yes, no retry, cancel. Okay, but if you were able to memorize the value and then the meaning of that value, then it's a lot easier to use the value. Okay, so let's say you want to display abort, retry, ignore, then you can just put their number 2. Okay, as simple as that. However, if you're not if you're not familiar with the values, I mean the content of those values, then you have to use the symbolic constant, okay, which is longer, but a lot easier to implement due to this text right here. You already know that the first option is abort, the second option is retry, and then the third option is ignore. Okay, so on and so forth. All right, so let's have this example right here. So in here we have the message box, and then the information, delete the record, and then the first one is the message box style that question, okay, which is the icon, followed by the plus sign, meaning, okay, so this is now the one that you're going to modify the button. Okay, so we have message box style that yes and then no. So as you guys can see, we have yes option and then a no option right here. Okay, and then followed by the title, which is greetings. So you can use this one using the symbolic constant, or you can use just the value. Okay, so in here we have the message, which is the same, delete the current record. Okay, followed by the number, which is the icon 32. So 32, going back right here, 32 is the question mark. Okay, and then right here 4, okay, plus 4, don't forget the plus sign. 4, okay, in type of argument of button is a yes no button. Okay, so as you guys can see, it will display the same content. Okay, and then the last one is the title, which is the greetings. Okay, so either of those two will be fine. So you can use the symbolic constant or via text only. Okay, or you can use the value, okay, of this icon, and then the value of this type of argument, okay, which is this one. So were you guys able to follow so far on how to change the kinds, the type of arguments, the type of icons? Okay, so I highly suggest you guys to do this one on your own Visual Studio, okay, because you will not appreciate this one unless you do this one on your own. Okay, so try to change the message information. You try to change the title, and then try to change the kind of arguments. Try to change the type of icon, so and so on, so on and so forth. Okay. So yeah, that's it for the display. Okay, but what will happen if I click yes? How do I program this yes button right here? How do I program this no button right here? Okay, so what are the actions that I will do once I click yes? What are the actions that I will do once I click no? Okay, so actually all of those okay, cancel button, abort, retry, ignore, yes, no, cancel, they have a specific returning value. Okay, so let me introduce to you guys this returning value. So once you have clicked the OK button, okay, it will return a value of 1. Okay, once you click the cancel button, it will return a value of 2. Okay, once you click abort, it will return 3. Retry is 4, ignore is 5, yes is 6, or no is 7. Okay, so you can have two returning values actually. Okay, it's either the value or the symbolic constant. So either of those two will be fine. You can call any of those two. So if the message box tell that abort is triggered, okay, then what are the actions that you will do? So let me show to you guys an example and how to put the value of that one. So just simply declare a variable. Okay, let's say dim x as the integer, and then equate this entire message box. Okay, and then whatever is the option that the user have chose, let's say yes. Okay, then it will return a value of 6 on our variable x. And then you can now call that variable x. Let's say if x is equal to 6, then followed by your statements. Okay, so you can do that one, or you can use select case statement. Select case x, case 6. So if the value is 6, then what are you going to display? Okay, what are the statements that you are going to display? Okay, so if the user chose no, then no is 7. So your x now has a value of 7. Okay, so we only have two possibility of value right here. Okay, so we have the 6 and 7. Okay, so another example. Okay, so in here, message box, and then this is an example of a message box, which is the content or the message. And then one is information. Okay, this is the, my bad. 64 is the icon. Okay, just take note that when it comes to icon, we only have 16, 32, 48, and 64. But when it comes to type of argument, so we only have 0 to 5. Okay, so that is the, uh, let's say, pattern, okay, on how to identify when it comes to values. Is this an icon, or is this the type of argument? Okay, so again, when it's the type of argument, it's only 0 to 5. But when it comes to icon, we have this kind of value: 16, 32, 48, and then 64. So it keeps on incrementing by 16. Okay, starting from the value of 16 up to 64. So one thing that you guys will notice right here, okay, so you can interchange those two. Okay, so 64 could be here, or 64 could be here. So any of those two will be fine, since there is no exactly same values when it comes to icons and then type of argument. So you can interchange those two. Okay, and then one is this type of argument, the OK cancel. Okay, OK cancel this one. Value is 1, and then OK cancel. Okay, so if I click, let's say OK, then this will have a value of ano nga ba ulit yan? 7. 7 ba? Hindi pala. Say yes pala. OK is 1. Okay, it will have a value of 1. Okay, for this x. And if I click cancel, it will give us a value of 2. Okay, so let me show to you guys one example of this one. I think I have an example for select case. Okay, cancel message box. So this is my example last year, okay, or last time I think. Yeah, I created this one, so I cannot give them a good example. So this is where I've come up. So I did. Where is this one? So are you single? And then so this is a button. So once you click is 1, so it will give you an option. Where is this one? Button 2 ba to? Button 1 naman. Are you single? And then question number 1. Okay, wait a second. Nangyari dito. Okay, let me just try this one for now. Are you single? I see. This one is the example of input box. Okay, so later on we'll discuss this one, but for now, let's skip this one. Okay, so the one that we're going to focus with is the button number 2. Okay, this question: do you have a son or daughter? So okay, first let me show to you guys how this one works. Okay, so in here, if I click yes, then it will display this text right here, yes, I have. But if I click no, then it will display this text right here, no, I don't. Okay, so just to take note that when we say yes, no, okay, we have a specific value for that one, wherein yes is 6 and then no is 7. So if x is equal to 6, then it will display this yes I have on our label to the text. Okay, and then if I choose no, then it will display this value right here. Okay, or this text right here rather, which is no, I don't. Okay, so this is the text, okay, or the message, and then this is the the type of icon, okay, which is a question. So you can change this one into 64, 64 ba yun? 1632. Oops. 32. You can change this one into 32 and then followed by yes, no. Yes, no is 2 ba? Okay, let's try this one. I'm not sure if it's 2, but let's see. Let's abort or try ignore. So that's not 2. Is it 4, I think? If this is not correct, then I have to go back to my, yeah. So 4. So yes and then no, okay? So again, you can use the value or the symbolic constant. Okay, so again, if you are like me, wherein I don't know the content of this value right here, then you can use the symbolic constant, wherein message box style that yes and then no. Okay, wherein to give me the same result. Okay. All right, so that's it for the bakit may error dito? Message box style. That is the previous one. Message box. Tama naman. I don't know why it's having a squiggly red line. So yeah, you can use the symbolic constant or those values. So you can also combine them. Let's say you can use a value right here, or you can use a symbolic constant right here. So it's also okay. Okay. So yeah, that's it for this example using a message box. So were you guys able to follow so far? Okay. Okay, very good. So let's now move on to the last topic, which is the input box. Okay. So this is another function which is similar with the message box. It's just that in here we don't have an option. Okay. So the thing that we're going to do here is we're going to input something. That's why this one is called input box. So this one displays a message and returns a string containing the contents of the input box. Okay, so here's the syntax. This one could be any variable name as long as you've declared this variable as a string. So that's why I put here string var or str var, okay, which is equal to input box. The first one is a message, which is similar with the message box style. Okay, but in here, okay, it's now followed by the title. So in our message box, the title is at the end, okay, of our syntax right here. But in here, it's on the second uh, parameter. Okay, first parameter, second parameter, and then third parameter. So the third parameter is optional. Okay, you can actually put a default value and that input box. So without a further ado, let me introduce to you guys this example. Super basic example. So we have the message, which is this input name, followed by the title, which is data entry. So as you guys can see, we only have two parameters in here. So if we put one more parameter, that's already the default value of this input box. However, it's just optional. Okay, so if you leave this one blank, then it will not display anything, which is the same with this one. It displays nothing. Okay, but if you want to have a default value, so you can have an additional one, which is, let's say, Juan de la Cruz. So you can now have a default value on this input box. Okay, so what else? Oh, you can also put here a question that text. So meaning, let's just say that this is a helper text, okay, wherein it's not really your input, it's just reminding the user that you have to put here a question. Okay, so of course the user has to delete this one and then start putting the question and then click OK to open that question or that file name. Okay, so that's actually it already. So these are just knowledge check. So we have 1 to 9 of this one. So I will not discuss this one anymore because this one is much, let's say, more on your side already. Okay, this will just check what are the things that you've learned. Okay, so please try to answer all of them. Okay, this will help you to understand more how to use if statement, understand more how to use a randomizer. Okay, how to use using a message box, how to use select case statement, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let me just let's just have one last example using this input box right here, using this example right here on the first button. So instead, it says here, are you single? So you can actually put any string right here, and then once I click OK, it will display on the label one. Okay, so if I click cancel, of course, it will do nothing. Okay, so in here, are you single? Then you can put any string, let's say yes, and then it will be recorded on this label text right here. Okay. So there you go. So yeah, that's it for the uh, module 8. So we have one more module, which is the module 9. So we'll start discussing that one next meeting. However, just a reminder as early as of now so that you guys can prepare. So of course, we have additional 4 activities for this module 8. We have 3 quizzes and then 1 case study. So just read them. The due date of those is July 31. Okay. And then for the last module, okay, I would like you guys to check this one. Okay, so this is a working mini pizza ordering system. Okay, so please do download this rar file for you to be able to see, okay, the code. Okay, you can base your final laboratory right here, the lab number 9. Okay, on this file of mine that I created. Okay, so lab number 9 is the pizza, okay, wherein that's actually your lab number 7, okay, which is the interface only. But in lab number 9, this one now is a complete working pizza ordering system. Okay, so once I click this, let's say radio button, once I activate the radio button, then if I click compute total amount, then it should display a certain amount. Okay, so please do check this one. Yeah, this one for you to be able to see how is it working, or you can just download this exe file. Okay, and then you will see here how it works. Okay, so let me just show to you guys real quick. So let me download this one. So saan ko sinave yun? So desktop. Anyway, so this is the executed file. Executed file. Yeah, a working application. Okay, so in here we only have 3 options. So this checkbox is to call this one unlock. Okay, these are radio buttons right here. So if I uncheck this one, then this will deactivate this one, this radio buttons right here. So if I want to order 3 pizza, then just check all of them, and then medium is 185 for the pepperoni, And then for the small of bolognese plus medium of pepperoni will give me a result of 260. If I want to add more, let's say Hawaiian, then a total of 529 pesos. Okay, so what if I want to cancel my order? So just simply deactivate this one or uncheck this checkbox right here, and then it will be deducted on my computed value right here. So the same with bologna, the same with pepperoni, which is 0 PHP. Okay, so yeah, and then again you can see the code of this mini pizza ordering on this mini pizza ordering rar.rar. Okay, just download this one and then extract this one and then open this one as or open this one on your Visual Basic, okay, or open that one as a project. Then you will see the code of mine on the pizza. Okay, and then last one for your lab number 10. Okay, this is now the complete working lab number 8. Okay, so before it's just interface, but in here it is now a complete working saan na ba yan ito? So you can actually download this one again because this is already a working, okay, lab number 8. This is not just an interface. This is MP2-1. So this is already a working program. Let's see, we have 10 volts. So if I click compute, it will give me these results right here on the series, and that will give me this result right here for the parallel, and then this result right here for the combination. So for this one, you can find a lot of similar examples on module 7. Yeah, module 7. We have many of those, so please do check them, okay? So the only thing that you guys need to maybe uh, research about is how to solve or how to find the formula of this combination. For the parallel, I guess you can find a lot of similar example with this one on the internet, so you can figure out what is the correct formula for this parallel. And for the series, we have a lot of example of this one, okay, on the module 7. So just recheck again the module 7 and you will see how to do this total resistance, total current, voltage drop on R1, voltage drop on R2, etc. etc. Okay, so yeah, that's already it. And then lastly, of course, is the case study number 7. So the due date of this one is August 5. So the same with the other activities. Oh, my bad. Okay, so I mentioned a while ago that this is already your last quiz, but we have one more quiz, which is the 6th quiz, okay, which is the add numbers. So don't mind this one for now since the due date is August 5, exactly 2 weeks. So just check this one next meeting once we're done with the discussion on module 9. Okay, and then after that is of course now your final exam. Okay, so the date of your final exam is August 3, 4, and then 5, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. So just make sure to finish all of those laboratories before August 5. Okay. So yeah, that's it. So do you guys have a question so far? Or any violent reaction?
Not that.
Okay. So if you guys don't have a question anymore, then that's it. Just give me thumbs up and then you guys may now go. And then let's just meet again next meeting. Okay, so goodbye and thank you guys for coming.
Goodbye and thank you, sir.
Goodbye. Okay, goodbye.
Sir.
Yes?
Ay, sir, yung napas ko pala sa lab 7 at 8, may codes na pala, sir.
That's okay. That's okay.
Ay,
That's
sige, sige.
perfect. Okay, submit
Thank
mo
you,
na
sir.
lang din
Thank you, sir.
sa lab 9 and 10 yung may code na yun. Okay?
Sige, sir.
Then,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
congrats, tapos ka na. Okay.
Sige, sir.
Sige, sige. Goodbye.